Hi again, everybody. It's Mrs. Mitchell-Brady here. I'm going to be hopefully helping you today prepare to write your newspaper article, which is your second written task. And this newspaper article must be handed in to your English teacher for them to mark it. So today's title, we've got Writing to Persuade and Argue, Writing Your Article. Add do now is why is it important to use paragraphs? So I'd like you to consider that do now, please, especially in something like a newspaper article. Why is it crucial to use paragraphs? Pause me if you need to and think about that question. Okay, today we are going to identify persuasive writing techniques. We're going to complete the planning of your newspaper article, which we started last lesson, and you're going to write and complete your newspaper article and send it to your teacher. Let's go. Okay, as a quick recap then, everyone, as you can see on the left-hand side, there is a table. And this table has loads of different language techniques in it that you would expect to see in a newspaper article. So we've got pun, adverbs, hyperbole, simile, rhetorical question, alliteration, metaphor, exclamation, facts, adjectives, emotive language, opinions, verbs, humour, and bias. And on the right-hand side, I've actually given you all of the different meanings. So I want you to pause me and pause the video and see if you can match up the different techniques to their meaning. And that should give you some idea of these kind of language techniques that I expect to see and your teachers expect to see in your newspaper article. Pause me and off you go. Okay, did you get these right then? Did anybody get all of them? Feel free to email me and let me know if you got every single one right and matched up. So, a joke or a play on words is also known as a pun. Words ending in ly are adverbs. Extreme exaggeration is a hyperbole. I know my class, for example, I have told you 1,000,000 times what a hyperbole is. Using like or as to compare is a simile. A question that is not answered, so it's something you ask your listeners or your readers, is a rhetorical question. Using the same letter to start a sentence is alliteration. Comparing something by saying it is something else is a metaphor. A punctuation sign used to show shock or anger or happiness or excitement is an exclamation mark, and I've actually given you an example of one there. Truth or true points are facts. Describing words are adjectives. Feelings and emotions is emotive language. What you think or you feel is your opinion. Doing words are verbs. Making you laugh or using sarcasm or something to make your readers laugh is humour. And finally, showing favour of one side or another is bias. So that gives you some idea. These techniques you should be using in your newspaper article, please. Okay, a reminder then, everybody. We looked at this last lesson, but to recap, so it's really clear for you what you're doing. Your task is to write a newspaper article for the Stretford Chronicle with the title Coronavirus, What I Hope People Will Learn. So this is what your article needs to be about. Pause the video and note down, please, what the text type, audience and purpose is. Off you go. Okay, welcome back. Did everybody get that? So we are writing a newspaper article. It's non-fiction. We are writing in a formal way because it's to the general public and future generations to read. Why? We are informing people about the time of coronavirus and then what you want them to learn during this time. That's what you're going to include in your newspaper article. Okay, last lesson you would have seen this slide and it gave you some idea as to what was coming up. Your teacher will have emailed this PowerPoint to you and it will be on class charts, and all of the writing task information will also be on class charts from your teacher. Over the next few slides, as you can see here in the highlighted yellow, I'm going to try and help you with your newspaper writing and give you some scaffolding and some sentence starters. It's really important that you complete your piece of writing and you hand it in to your teacher on the date that they give you as your deadline. So let's have a look then. To help you write your newspaper article, here in the left-hand side is the success criteria. So this outlines what you need to be including. So I expect to see a headline, a subheading, lots of different deforest techniques. As you can see from this previous slide, I've actually given you all of them to use. And let's go back to here. I want to see a clear writing voice. So this is your opportunity to write a newspaper article about what you believe and what you want people to learn from coronavirus, from this whole situation we've been experiencing. And finally, I want correct punctuation and punctuation used for effect. Things like semicolons and exclamation marks. Down here are some sentence starters that could prompt you when you're writing your paragraphs. And here is a word bank. So I've chosen some key words here that you might want to use in your newspaper article to help people agree with your point of view. If you remember my last video, it was about writing to argue and persuade, and you can also use some of those different techniques. Okay, here on the right-hand side then, in red, green and blue, what, how and why. What are we doing? You are writing a newspaper article. You are going to explain what you want people to learn about during this coronavirus situation. Here in italics, I've said what you can include: how people are being treated, what's happening to the environment, how we can take care of our body and mind and our mental health, what are we learning about education, and finally, what we should value and appreciate in life and why. So you could even use each of those headings as a paragraph heading to help you structure your writing. How are we going to write this? Okay, you're going to use the success criteria on this page, which is here, and your teacher will also have sent this to you. I also want you to use a range of deforest techniques. We have looked at this lesson at the beginning of this PowerPoint and in the previous lesson. Finally, why? Well, this is a fantastic opportunity to inform readers about what's been happening and take part in making history. You're also going to send this to your teacher so we can see what you've been learning in your writing skills and how you are pushing your writing skills into practice. So you can pause this video here and start your newspaper article, or you can have a look over the next few slides and see if they are helpful as well. Okay, a really quick structure here for you then, everybody. As you can see on the left-hand side, here's your success criteria. I've kept that here for you so it's really clear what you need to do. You need to think about your own headline, what you want to include in your headline for your newspaper article. Then you need to be including a subheading, so a short sentence about your article. Then your introduction, think about the 5 W's, who, what, where, when and why. Then your main paragraphs. Your main paragraphs are here in italics, in red: how people are treated, the environment, taking care of our body and mind, education, what we should value and appreciate in life and why. And then finally, your conclusion. So you need to sum up what you believe, how you feel, and that will be your conclusion. So again, feel free to pause this video here and have a go at writing your newspaper article. Okay, finally, here's a checklist for you. Is your article structured in the correct order? So here's what it should look like, and these are the things you should have included. And then, have you used a range of language techniques? I'd like to see at least one language technique in your headline, the facts and your opinions in your introduction, formal language in your main paragraphs. Have a look at using a thesaurus online or a book version so your vocabulary is impressive. And we want to see adjectives, adverbs, emotive language and precise verbs. You can pause the video here if you would like to start writing your article now. Okay, so before you send it back to your teacher for marking, how about you send it to a friend and see if they can give you some feedback? Please look through these slides and make sure you have included all of the information that's on the success criteria. And what about someone at home? Could they read through it for you before you hand it into your teacher? All of this information will be on class chart, and you can email your teacher if you have any questions. But obviously you can pause the video, download the PowerPoint to use it to help you when you are writing. Good luck, everybody, and we look forward to reading your writing. Take care. Bye-bye.